The real horror in Roswell isn't the aliens. This was supposed to be a do-over. I'd been to Roswell before during COVID, but with the visitor center and so much else shut down, that trip felt incomplete. The park itself had been peaceful, though, totally free of the misery to come. I was drawn back by a sense of unfinished business, a plan to finally explore the alien mystery and then spend 7 full days camped beside the strange turquoise lakes I'd only glimpsed. But I had to cut it short. The story I found wasn't the one I was looking for. It wasn't about flying saucers or serene desert beauty. The truth of this place, the one that drove me out, was brutal, itchy, and swarming all around me. You can't plan a trip to this part of New Mexico without the Roswell pilgrimage on your list. That was the goal, finally do the alien thing right. I imagined the delightful cheesiness, the little green men on every corner, the UFO museum. But I decided to save it for later in the week. My first destination, my home for what was meant to be 7 days, was the place that had left such a visual impression, Bottomless Lakes State Park. Pulling my rig into the park felt like I'd made the right call. The dusty plains gave way to dramatic red bluffs and that string of impossibly blue-green lakes. I found my spot in the Lee Lake Campground, a roomy pull-through with electric and water, a covered picnic table, and a fire grill, although we weren't allowed to use the fire grills. The campground wasn't even a third full, which was a little strange, but it felt like the perfect setup to truly settle in. As I unhooked, the plan felt perfect. It was minutes from the alien capital of the world, yet surrounded by a quiet, rugged beauty. The air was still. The only mystery I could feel was how a place like this even existed. I had no idea a different, more maddening mystery was about to unfold. We made it to Bottomless Lake State Park. Gia has already gotten tangled up once. Picnic table. And this is very odd that the electric post is on the passenger side of the van. But let me show you what happened when we pulled out of Walmart. Because I forgot to latch the cabinet door right there. Everything came out of the door. For the first day, I saw the idyllic version of the park. Lee Lake is the heart of it all, an oasis in the middle of the Chihuahuan Desert. But as I looked out, I saw no one on the beach and nobody splashing in the roped-off swimming area. It was like a classic summer lake scene, just with all the people missing. And I remembered the name Bottomless Lakes. The old story is that cowboys couldn't find the bottom with their ropes, but the truth is a little more scientific. These aren't lakes. They're cenotes, giant sinkholes formed when underground water dissolved salt and gypsum, causing the ground to collapse. The deepest is about 90 feet. That incredible color comes from the aquatic plants living in the clear water. So on the surface, it's a beautiful place with a fascinating geological story. I could have made the mistake of thinking that was all there was to it and that this is simply a peaceful desert paradise. But this place has a way of reminding you that beauty can be deceiving and that the full story isn't always a pleasant one. I don't know what you call this pavement, but I have nicknamed it Break Your Ankle Pavement. I was going to take a picture of the sign for what this little area is called, but the sign it doesn't have anything on it. It's just blank white. But it's pretty cool out here. By day 2, the desert's true rhythm revealed itself, and it was nothing like my first visit. During my COVID-era trip, there was only silence and solitude. This time, the deeper mystery wasn't in the cosmos. It was in the air all around my campsite. I was infested with black flies. They weren't just an annoyance, they were a plague. They swarmed my head, crawled into my ears, and made being outside unbearable. Looking back, you have to wonder if the flies chased everyone else off too. This is where RV life gets painfully real. One morning, I woke up with my head and face covered in bites. I counted at least 30 of them, angry and swollen. One had even gotten me inside my ear. It's a humbling, miserable experience that no picturesque view can fix. You can't adapt. You can't just heat water on the stove to solve it. This wasn't a minor inconvenience. It was an assault. The evenings, which should have been magical, were the worst. As soon as the sun began to set, the swarm intensified. Stage 2 fire restrictions meant I couldn't even have a smoky wood fire to try to keep them at bay. I'd retreat inside my rig, listening to the maddening buzz just outside my screens. All my plans to hike the bluff trail to explore the other quieter lakes vanished. The only goal was to survive the swarm. On what should have been day 3, I waved the white flag. I couldn't take it anymore. I packed up, defeated by a tiny winged army. But as I pulled out, I wasn't ready to go home. I wasn't going to let a swarm of flies ruin New Mexico for me. I pulled over, scrolled through a map, and made a snap decision. My new destination was Rob Jagger's Campground, part of the Fort Stanton Snowy River Cave National Conservation Area. Pulling in was like entering another world. The air was clear. There was not a single black fly in sight. The campground was nestled in hills dotted with juniper and pine, with views of the Capitan Mountains. Many of the sites had corrals, a clear sign this was a hub for horseback riding. It was beautiful, peaceful, and blissfully itch-free. The truth I found wasn't just about misery, it was about resilience. It was about knowing when to cut your losses, and that sometimes the best laid plans are the ones you abandon for something unexpectedly better. The real oasis wasn't the one with the turquoise water. It was the one where I could finally step outside and breathe. I came to Roswell searching for one story and ended up with another entirely. My trip started with the promise of aliens, detoured into the misery of a biblical scale fly infestation, and then ended in an unplanned, peaceful paradise. The truth I found wasn't about extraterrestrials. It was about the duality of nature. It's a reminder that sometimes you have to escape a beautiful prison to find true sanctuary. It's a lesson in adapting, that the most memorable trips aren't always the ones that go perfectly, but the ones where you overcome what goes wrong. If you ever have a trip saved by a last-minute change of plans, tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to hear that. I'm not the only one who's had to make a strategic retreat. And if you're planning your own trip to New Mexico, don't just look up, look around, and definitely pack a head net. You just never know.
Like a tumbleweed, she goes where the wind blows her.